Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 157. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective with your host, Ryan Cross from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts.
Oh, yeah! Woo, woo.
The crowd goes wild.
You're hired, my friend. You are hired. Nice.
My Terminator ringtone, because of course somebody tries to call me while we're on there.
But I like that. That's my new intro music.
Nice.
So welcome to the show. I am back after hunting for a week, and I was successful. And you guys ran the show without me for 156, and from what I heard, you guys did as much as I expected you to, and that's great. So I do appreciate TJ for running that, and Jeremy from that other show from coming on and filling in for us.
Hey,
so,
hey Ryan, if we met your expectations, they weren't that high.
That's exactly why you met them, my friend, because they were on the ground. So how did everyone's week go? What did everyone do in guns before I regale you with my hunting story?
Tony's still got bronchitis, in case you can't hear that.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much, I'm still out of the loop. I've only fired my SIRT pistol and cleaned all the guns in the house twice. I want to go to the range.
You clean guns?
I've been sick for over a month. Yes, everything is effing clean.
Jeez.
No days down, man.
No.
Yeah. Did you clean that high point until it was in the white again?
Pretty much, I've cleaned the high point till it's spotless.
He cleaned it so much there's no more rifling in the barrel.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
It's
So
really
you're saying
sad.
it's like factory new.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's wrong. That's wrong. My high point's better than the Glock. It's better than the Glock.
The battle cry of high point owners everywhere.
No, only the ones that are delusional.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I bought two and I still saved money.
It's still pretty less than a Glock.
Yeah. What about anyone else? Did anyone do anything else?
So I think I did the most momentous thing I've done all year.
Look,
I broke up with Bridget.
This is going downhill fast.
Really downhill.
No, actually, I did probably the most important thing anybody can do for over the next week. This
Voted.
weekend in Florida, yes. Florida opened up early voting last week. I went down this weekend and I voted.
Good job.
I didn't go to the gun range and I voted, and may God bless Queen Hillary. I mean,
Hey, you don't want to be on the list, dog. You better go ahead and suck it up. Yep.
That's why I
Just
said
in
that.
case.
all
Just
I
in
can
case.
say is may the FBI probe still continue
Yeah, right.
until election day.
Yeah, I mailed my mail-in ballot in last week also.
Yes.
Cool.
Not me. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way and scare other voters as I walk in because I'm bigger than everybody else.
Well, see, I work at the election booth. I'm a poll worker. Calm down, Rob. And
Man, I was getting happy.
Poll, Rob.
Rob can't spell it. Doesn't matter. He just
that
heard
didn't do
poll.
anything.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the way it's spelled. He's from North Carolina.
Florida.
Yeah, whatever. Same difference.
Rob can't spell. Tony's not good at geography. Let's move on.
Hey, I don't know
Okay.
math, and I don't know why you're bringing that up.
Pole as in toll, not pole as in hole.
Anyway, so
Wow.
as working the election polls, I can't get to my district to vote. So pretty much absentee ballot is the way. Not absentee ballot, but mail-in ballot is the way I have to do it every year.
Well, unfortunately, I'm in Oregon and they're all mail-in ballots, so
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm not keen on it either, but that's the way it is here, so I do it that way. Now, Ryan, I think, wanted to know if we did anything in guns, so I went to some Podunk gun show. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I installed some parts I got from Gun Tech into review, so here in months when I finally get around to reviewing them. I'll do those, and then that was about it. Rob, you're up.
No, I just said what I did. Hey, voting is very important for guns. So I would say it's
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yes.
Because
It
guns
is.
have two enemies, rust and politicians, right?
Yes.
And Tony cleaning them.
But no, that's all I did. I just voted. So
Cool. So I think
Am I
that's everybody.
allowed to rewind a week since I missed last week's show because you moved it? I was
Yeah,
all
go
gung-ho,
ahead.
ready to go on Tuesday. So last Sunday, I did the force-on-force training from Justifiable Force down at the Garden State Shooting Center, which was 4 hours of theory and combatives, which was pretty awesome. In talking to those guys, they pointed out that that's one of the weakest areas for most people, is that they never get that force-on-force training. So highly recommended if you're looking at carrying a handgun for self-defense. Running through a lot of those scenarios and drills was really beneficial. I got to personally run the Tooler drill, aka the 21-foot drill, where a person with a knife can successfully close 21 feet against a shooter before they can draw and fire 2 rounds of center mass. Combination of theories there that were put into place, so that was pretty good. I also want to send a quick shout out to Adam from Arm Neutrality Holsters. Just had a little girl last week, so that's pretty exciting. Another new shooter into the fold, hopefully. And what else we got? Classes and stuff coming up, but we'll get to that at the end of the show, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, I went hunting, and I went with the modern firearm. Although, however, for the first few days, I was using a bow because I can use a lesser weapon. So I could have used like a muzzle loader or a bow during modern season. But then I, toward back about 4 or 5 days, and it started to rain, and I didn't see nothing. I kind of switched to 308 with the suppressor on the end of it. And it was the day I switched to 308 that I was watching a doe cross the road there, and there's only a couple windows in between some cedar trees. And so I could recognize it was about 7:30 in the morning. So I can barely make out details, but I could tell the body difference between a doe and a buck. I saw the doe cross the first window of opportunity, and I saw something much darker and stockier behind her. So I kind of figured it was a buck. So that when they were coming up to the second window, to where if they went farther, they would have been into the woods and out of my view. So I was kind of perched up on a higher elevation. The buck walked out and laid right down at 50 yards and stared right at me, just laying down. So I put the bullet between his. I kind of drew an X between his ears and his eyes, and then I just aimed right for the center of that X. That's kind of what I learned from the butcher when he comes and does the folks' cows every year. So that's what I did, and pretty much liquefied his brain and instant death. It was pretty awesome. The horns, obviously the skull plate was split in two. The horn's really easy to extract, which I actually like, because that's my least favorite thing about cleaning a deer is usually you get to the horns last after you do the meat, obviously. And then by then everything's kind of crusted over and dried, and it's a little bit more work to remove all the hair and the hide from the horns. But I just kind of pluck these suckers right out once I finish skinning him. So I've got him. If you're watching on the podcast, here's my buck. Obviously 3x3, pretty nice. It's a blacktail, so it's pretty respectable for my little area. So I'm very pleased about that. I let it hang for about 3 or 4 days. Then the day before Halloween, me and my future wife went and finished processing it, grinding it in the hamburger.
There's my.
Because we got our own Cabela's grinder. You got
I got a
it's
black.
$1. You're funny. So that's what I did. I also got some gun stuff done, but just the fact that I got to punch my tag, I was actually quite happy about. I also got my Polymer 80 upper, Glock 17 upper completed. So it's got a Lone Wolf threaded barrel in there. And now I just got to finish milling the lower and then assemble that, put it together, and I'll have myself a ghost gun, an undocumented Glock 17. Ooh.
Well, if you're gonna have a true ghost gun, you should have had it done by Halloween.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So is that those are Gen 3s, right?
Yes. Uses
just
the Gen 3 recoil spring.
Okay.
Yeah. The way I like it. I don't need none of that Gen 4 garbage.
What about Gen 5?
And I've got plenty of Nerf guns. I don't need anything more of that.
Oh, snap.
And actually, I'm gonna have the lower after I take the pictures for the review because I'm kind of documenting everything because they wanted Polymer 80 wanted me to review it, so that's why I'm doing it. I'm not a big fan of their mold for the frame. It's got a lot of extra chunks of plastic in the design, and it makes it like extra kind of clunky and bulky. Obviously, they didn't want to mimic Glock's design for copyright reasons, so they kind of went with I feel like an overly deep, complex design, and so I'm actually going to have it reduced and kind of customize how I want the frame to look, and I'm going to have somebody do that for me. So stay tuned for that. And then I also, because of the podcast we did, was it 3 episodes ago, where we talked about the Indian Creek design, the blast deflector. They actually heard the podcast and then asked me if I wanted to actually review one, and so they sent me one very fast.
Nice.
So I'm going to be reviewing that. So it's a two-part design. So you're just going to unscrew this tapered end in the back, and this goes over the threads of your barrel, and it sits on the shoulder. So the diameter of your barrel is important here. It seems like it's a 3/4 inch diameter. So you kind of set it over the barrel, and then you attach your existing muzzle device, whatever you want, your brake, your compensator, your flash hider, and then you can just slide this large blast deflector over it, and you can still maintain use of all that. So same concept as the AAC blast out, except you're not married to any of AAC's flash hiders, and this is compatible with like 90% of the muzzle devices that are already out there. So stay tuned for the review on this guy.
Nice.
And let's see, I think that's about it. I just got back from Cabela's, and I looked at the Smith & Wesson M&P Compact 22 threaded barrel. I want it. And then I also looked at the HK MP5 pistol. It's kind of cool, overpriced, obviously. And I also looked at some SIG optics too that they had just gotten in. But then I rushed home so I could record this podcast for you guys.
We all thank you greatly.
Yeah,
oh, you're
right?
awesome. Thanks.
So let's get on with the announcements.
Hold on, Ryan.
The bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. Do you have something to say?
I was going to say that reminded me.
What?
Not to interrupt on your company or anything, but I don't know if we've talked about it, but other people have. When I was at the gun show, I did pick up and handle one of the LCP2s or whatever they are, and I will say they are so much better than the originals. I mean,
really,
the way it feels, the sights, yeah, it is a vast improvement. So I didn't get to actually shoot one, but trigger.
You didn't buy it?
No. What do I need it for? I got one of the old versions that are crap compared to the new ones.
Well,
you should have swapped it out. You should have swapped it out.
Buy it. Send me a receipt. I'll file it in the round bin, and we can call it a day.
Yeah. But I just wanted people to know that I thought it was far better. They did a pretty good job with it. So.
Oh, so you think people care about your opinion?
Nope.
Yeah.
See, his wife has trained him well.
Nice.
I've been married for like 20 some years. What do you expect?
Well, that was actually good that you added that. If only you had remembered when it was your turn to speak.
Oh, hell, I don't remember crap like that.
In your face. Burn.
Yeah.
Ryan Cross, Rules Podcast with Iron Fist.
Screw you. I'm going home.
Yes. This is my circus, and you are my monkeys.
You know, I take total offense to
All
that
right.
being okay. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Oh, why do you always got to go that route?
Because
Jesus.
that's who I am.
Okay,
All
back to
right.
the announcements.
So yeah, announcements. Patriot Patch Co. We've actually got quite a few new products added to the pre-order, and then we've also got Patch of the Month Club, which is something new that we just rolled out last month. So we'll start with the pre-orders. So we have the hunting flag. So it's the American flag, but it's got a white-tailed deer silhouette over it. It says American Tradition. This hat, I chose the colors to match pretty much with every camouflage pattern, no matter what kind of pattern is your preference. But if you wear a tactical hat in camo colors in the woods for hunting, this is like the perfect patch for that. So that's also for pre-order. And then we've got It's Dangerous to Go Alone, Take This sniper rifle. So we've got a Barrett sniper rifle on there. Probably one of the better looking Dangerous to Go Alone patches that we've done. I chose a blue background.
Yes.
And that Barrett is just sexy as all get-go, so pretty proud of that one. So we also have a Patch of the Month Club, and TJ tried to describe it last episode in collaboration with, I think Rob helped to correct him on some of that information. So I do appreciate you guys for giving it a try, even though I wasn't there. So the Patch of the Month Club it's a $15 monthly subscription. What you get is a exclusive patch that's not available anywhere else. Once they're gone for that month, they're gone. You're going to be one of the very select few who own it, and these are my best designs. We don't, throw the rejects into the Patch of the Month Club. These are like the best that I come up with. So last month we had Safe Space, so it was an actual gun safe with the door open with some guns in there. Never seen that done on a morale patch before. That was a big hit. A lot of people were bummed that they kind of caught on late and they kind of missed that opportunity. But like I said, once they're gone, they're gone. That's kind of the big appeal to these. So for November, we've got double patches, and you get one sticker. So we've got Tactical Turkey. It's a turkey with a scar and a hatchet. And it says you want a piece of this, so it's kind of a turkey that's fighting back because Thanksgiving is just coming around the corner. And then my personal favorite out of the two, the M18 Pumpkin Spice Smoke Grenade. So if you want to fight the crowds on Black Friday, you just pop this and throw it into the crowd, and it can either repel people or it can attract white women. We're not really sure what effect it's gonna have. It's one of those two.
Only the basic
don't
ones.
get all excited. Don't get all excited over the white women thing. They ain't all they cracked up to be. Just saying.
Right. When the smoke clears, there'll be Uggs everywhere. Like, where did all these boots come from?
Send your hate mail to Tony@SimonsSaysTrain.com.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead, send it.
So, and then we've got the Tactical Turkey. I put some more shading and highlights on it since that's going to be a full color print on a vinyl sticker. So you get those two patches and the sticker if you're a subscriber to the club. If you can cancel anytime if you're not pleased with the designs that are coming out, no issue there. But for just $15 a month, you get some pretty sweet exclusive patches straight from us. Free shipping. The November, these two patches and sticker are estimated to ship November 19th. So depending on where you're at in the country, you should have them in time for Thanksgiving to show off to all your buddies or your family or your grandma at the dinner table. So that's what's going on with Patriot Patch Co. And let's see, we've got the new listener support program. Well, it's not really new anymore. It's continuing. So the Firearms Radio has a pledge program. So if you go to firearmsradio.tv and click on the pledge button, you can then pledge an amount of money to support your favorite podcast. It could be this one. It could be Handgun Radio. It can be any other of your favorite podcasts on the network. You can even support the network and all its shows in general by just clicking on the Firearms Radio Network button. And then you can choose the level of support that you want to do. And then you get some Patriot Patch swag as your kind of prize for whatever level you pledge there. So please go do that. It helps us out a lot. And for this show specifically, that money goes directly into acquiring new products to review. I might even do something like after I get a certain amount, I might pick like 3 products that I have interest in and let you guys choose which one I pick and buy. Add some interactive nature to it so that you guys, if you want me to review A instead of B or C, then we might have that the way that works. And then we also have this is something new that we're adding to the announcements. Amazon, we have an affiliate link. So if you go to firearmsradio.tv/Amazon, you can click on the links there. If you're going to do any shopping on Amazon, especially with the holidays coming up, we'd appreciate you doing so from those links because it gives us a little bit of that affiliate love that goes a long way into supporting the network as a whole. So now is when we talk about black bag resources and a coupon code, but we're going to let it come from the horse's mouth.
Go ahead, Tony.
That's you.
Oh, you mean me? Yeah, for free shipping on any order over $50, site-wide, expires Friday, November 4th. Use coupon code Tony's middle name. And I'm tempted to create a secondary coupon code with Tony's actual middle name, that if you know what his middle name is, you can use that and get a real big prize. But I think we'll save that for like the holidays.
Yeah, why don't you do that? You can post it on February 31st.
He's such a good sport, isn't he?
Oh, he's the best. And then I also want to plug the Gun Collective store that I help run, and then we're fulfilling as Patriot Patch Co. So tgcgear.com, or you can go to store.theguncollective.com, and you can buy some Gun Collective patches, shirts, even a keychain for the Guntrepreneur patch I did almost a whole year ago. And every $5 you spend on John's store, you get an entry to win a really expensive semi-automatic rifle that has yet to be determined. I don't know what's taking his lawyer so long. Get on it, Adam. Jeez. So you'll win that, and that's valued at about $3,000. And then there's going to be a hunting trip also rolled in, and that'll be about $1,500 value. Probably pigs, I'm assuming, but I'm not really too sure about that. But if you spend money now, then those points are being added up and credited to you. So there's unlimited entries. If you basically wanted to buy your whole family TGC gear for the holidays, they might think you're really generous, but in actuality, you might be stacking the odds in your favor, trying to win a really nice rifle and a hunting trip to go with it. So them's the announcements. Now we're going to get on to our main topic, a review. And Chad has a review that we're all anxious to hear about.
Well, I don't know if you guys are anxious, but I'm hoping so. Well, today, brought to you by Holosun Optics, we have the Holosun HS503C, which is a micro red dot. You can see it here, except it's not really a red dot. It has a circle dot, or it can be a standard red dot, depending on what you would like. But it kind of intrigued me because it has a little solar panel on the top. Well, okay, so they sent me one, and I'll try to explain it the best I can. The solar panel does not charge the battery, but don't be disappointed because when on the solar mode, it does run the circle dot, which is reminiscent of other circle dot reticles that people may have heard of. But it does run it quite well in daylight and even low light. So there is that. I actually talked to Holosun about something differently, and we got on the subject of this too. They also offer a model called a 403C, and it is also a solar. And for anybody that really, like, if your battery dies and it's daylight, you can still see the dot in that particular one. which is nice to know. With this one, the lower light, it's questionable without the battery in it. But if you're in daylight, you can take the battery out and it'll still work. So there is that. When you run it on the solar setting, which is solar and battery if the light gets too low, then you get the circle dot reticle only. But you can switch over to battery power only. And then when you're over there, you can get the circle dot or just a regular red dot, depending on what you would like. I mean, not that you can probably see it very well in this picture, if I can ever find it in the camera. You get a regular red dot.
There it is.
So, yep, it was there for a second. So there's that. The red dot, however, red dot only does not work on the solar mode. I think they make one that does, but don't quote me on that. They have a bunch of different models. So to switch between the solar mode and the battery mode, you hold down the little plus for like 3 seconds and it switches. And then when you're on battery mode, you can go up or down brightness by going plus or minus. And then to switch it between the dot and the circle dot, you hold down the minus key for like 3 seconds. And then to switch back to like solar mode, you can hold the plus button down and it'll switch back and forth. Also, to turn it off, you hold both buttons down. To turn it on, you can just hold the plus button and it will turn on. The 503C comes with everything you could ever want. It comes attached with the riser mount for AR style rifles. It uses a little Torx head screw to clamp it on, so there's no big knobs sticking out for Ryan over there. It gives, this high mount gives a third co-witness on the AR rifles iron sights. If you have backup iron sights or something, they'll be in the lower third of the sight. So there is that. If you are mounting it to, say, a shotgun or something that doesn't, they include the low mount with it. So there is that. Also, everything you need comes with it. It comes with a screwdriver to remove and install the battery, cleaning cloth, of course, rubber caps, if you want those. One of the big downfalls is, you probably won't be able to see it in here, but in the pictures in the review, you can see it, is these tiny, tiny Phillips screws that hold the battery tray in. So even though they supply a screwdriver, I'd still recommend the proper size, small Phillips head to change the battery. I'll go on and jump ahead. And if you're running with the battery, they state 20,000 hours on the circle dot at the 6 setting, which is a little past medium, and 50,000 hours for just the dot. So leaving it on is not a problem. Also, Aimpoint T1 mounts are supposed to work. So if you want some custom mount, you can get one of those, and I would try it beforehand, but that's kind of me. They state that it works that way, so I kind of trust them there too. It is a 2 MOA dot for those of who care. It's a 65 MOA circle with the 2 MOA dot, or just the 2 MOA dot. The adjustments are half MOA, pretty standard on these type of things. It has little screw type caps. The caps that cover it, which have a little nub on them, so you can stick it in that hole and adjust them, which is kind of cool. And the cap is where the marks are that say up. It has up or right and an arrow, so depending on which way you want to go, you can figure it out. plus or minus buttons for brightness. It has 9 daylight settings on the battery setting and 2 night vision ones. We already went over the hours it takes. I've used this site for quite a while. I think they sent it to me about 3 months ago. It's really clear from micro red dot. I mean, it's still got the red kind of coating on the end, but when you look through it, you don't really notice it too much. So most of the stuff you aim it at seems to work well. It works quite nicely in super bright sunlight. I was fortunate enough to have it during our sun here in Oregon. So I was shooting it one day when it was super sunny and hot out, and you could see the dot quite nicely either on solar or on battery. So there is that. Easily visible in low light, which you would expect with the night vision settings. So I don't have night vision, so I couldn't actually try those out. I like the circle dot reticle better than the standard dots, so that's kind of my take on it. This thing's been thrown around. I know it bounced around the back of my pickup, not actually on purpose, but it did. It's held zero. It's bounced off the ground a couple times. You got to thank my wonderful kids for that. Lean it up against something and it falls over. If people are looking for a micro red dot, I would recommend them looking at the HoloSuns. I mean, for a mid-range priced red dot, I don't really have anything too much to say except a little battery compartment. So we'll get on to the Firearms Insider 8 key points. Claim to fame: it's a solar and battery powered micro red dot circle dot. Target markets: anybody who wants a red dot or red dot circle dot. So the features and benefits: 2 MOA dot, 65 MOA circle dot, 20,000 hour battery life circle dot. That's like what, a couple years. 50,000 hour battery life with the dot only. 9 daylight, 2 night vision brightness settings. It is waterproof to a meter. I think that's for like 30 minutes. So if you're out in the rain or dropping in puddle, it probably doesn't matter. It weighs a whole 4.4 ounces with this high mount. So it doesn't weigh anything. It uses one CR2032 battery. And the operating temperature I thought was kind of weird. It's 14 Fahrenheit to 122 Fahrenheit, which seemed a little odd. I'll say something about that only. The other options you can get the red dot only, the 403C, which I talked about. They also make one that has protected adjustment knobs. So there is that. Costs a few bucks more, not really too much. So there are what other people are saying in the review if you want to go take a look at it. The price point, MSRP at HoloSun, is $282.34. Where they come up with that, I could not tell you. But at Brownells and Amazon, it is $239.99. So if you need it now, any one of those 3 places probably has it. So our rating, the pros, it's got the 65 MOA dot and the 2 MOA dot, and switchable. It's lightweight. Everything you probably need comes in the box. It has good daylight visibility, even with the solar power. It is both solar and battery powered. The turret caps double as adjustment screws, so you don't need to bring a screwdriver unless you lose one. The cons are that battery tray screws that are just, I don't know. If they had some other way, it would probably be better. The operating temperature seems kind of low for what, I mean, pretty much anywhere in the U.S., a lot of places it gets below 14 Fahrenheit, and even some places it gets above 122. So, I mean, I know their storage temperature is a lot different, so I wonder if that's maybe all they checked it to. So that's why that's what they state. And another con is you only get the 65 MOA circle in the solar mode. And so The score I gave it was a whole 7.5, which is good because in the price range, it's a good micro red dot for the price. And I guess that's the review. If you guys have any questions.
Well, I was going to say that the body of it is really sleek. It's definitely looks like one of the new generation red dots of the last 5 years, and
Right.
getting away from using the large 2032 battery that's in the turret. Like I've got a
Yes.
Vortex Spitfire right here, actually. So you can mount this on something that's smaller, like a pistol with a rail on top, or a very small 22, as well as your carbines, and it would be at home on any one of them. If you were to put this on like a Browning Buckmark or a Ruger Mark III, it wouldn't look entirely out of place because it doesn't have
Right.
like that big bulky battery compartment. So I do
Yes.
like how they put that there. That seems kind of advantageous from an aesthetic standpoint.
Yeah, they do offer for people, not in this particular model, but some of their other models, you can still get some have a little battery thing on the side. But
Yeah,
I liked how it's just a little tray, it slides in. It's just those little screws they're just so tiny. I mean,
Yeah.
but how often do you have to change the battery? Every 3 or 4 years?
True.
Yeah, battery life out of a 2032 is pretty awesome. I mean, that's huge. Tony and I got to play with some of these a while back.
Modern Materials.
Yeah, Joe from Modern Material is using those on all his rifles. And he asked me how I liked it at the time, and I went, it kind of didn't jump out at me. Like Chad said, it's good quality glass. It's clear. I didn't really notice it, which to me was the biggest compliment you can give something like that when you're really focused on the rifle, is that the optic wasn't a distraction.
Right.
It didn't jump out at me as like, oh, this is a cheap piece of junk that he threw on here because he's really focused on the rifle. It kind of went with what I consider mid-range guns that he was building. So yeah, not a bad way to go.
Yeah, that's pretty much my feeling too. But I liked what Ryan was saying about, you put the low mount on and you put it on like a 22 semi-auto pistol and it's right at home. So
It almost looks like a what's that? The Sig Romeo.
Yes, and actually, if you look at the one that has the protected turrets, it looks even more like the Sig Romeo. And I actually have shot. I've used one of the Sig Romeos, not on my rifle, but I have used one, and I pretty much get about the same picture in my mind out of it. So there is that, and I can't remember what the Sig Romeos go for.
Well, probably about $299, I think.
Yeah, so they're similar price.
Yeah,
range.
ballpark.
Yeah.
All right, so
Cool.
Explain the mount to me again. Can you remove that high mount and use it without it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
You can. Okay. So kind of like the TRS 25 that you can.
Yes.
It's modular.
Yes, it comes and it uses, according to them, it can use standard Aimpoint T1 mounts. So if you want a quick release mount, there's 4 screws in the bottom here.
I got you.
And you just take a torque driver and you can take them out. And then, like I said, it comes with the low mount. I didn't bring it in here, but the low mount pretty much sits right about the top of my finger.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's nice in that respect.
Because I heard you say that, but I'm looking at the pictures and it doesn't, like the TRS 25, it's clearly like a complete sight and a base that it's mounting on, where this, You're changing out that base for a different base.
Yeah.
A lot like the Spark 2, actually.
Yes. Did you go to the review?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, if you scroll down to that one picture, that low mount sitting there with like the
in the box.
Is
that what we're looking at?
Yeah, or right above it, either one. That is the low mount that you can take off. And if you look in the picture above it, you can see the 4 holes where the screws would go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even better.
Cool.
So, yep.
Well, thanks for doing that review.
Oh yeah, I like this thing, especially for what it is. I was surprised how light it was.
Yeah, Joe's been bugging me to pick these up and become a dealer through BBR for Holosun. So
Yeah.
well, if you're telling me there's interest, maybe that's something I need to pursue soon.
Yeah. Well, call.
Yeah, because Joe actually sells these through his modern materials also.
Joe wears
That's
a lot
what
of hats. He works for multiple companies, which is the other part of that. So he's actually a dealer rep for Holosun in addition to working for Modern Material.
Yeah, so that's when he was telling me about it. And as I'm looking through it, I'm like, this is a pretty decent site. And I was asking him about the price point because, again, I'm always looking for an optic and I only want to spend my money once. I want something quality and I don't want to dash it. There are a lot of things out there in this price point. So it's good that I had hands-on. And now you said it was cool. You know, we were both there together. Now Chad said he reviewed it. Feels the same way we did. So I'm thinking it might be pretty solid between that and something from Vortex. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not terribly expensive. You can still buy once, cry once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other nice thing I noticed about it is I actually have another red dot from another company here that I'm reviewing, and this particular one, the little LED where it shines out, because there's not much space in there. It's up here in the corner, and you can see a flat, but it's so tiny where they put that you don't really notice it. And like I was going to say, on the other one that I have to review, it's quite a bit, and it actually kind of obstructs your view a little bit. You notice it in your eye, and with this one you don't.
Yeah, well, like there's one I can think of where that projector actually gets in the way, and it's in that lower third, so it prohibits you from using the iron sights with it. You can't go witness it because that sucker's in the way. So
yeah, the Vortex Spark AR, the new Spark, actually has that issue a little bit. It's not so much to interrupt a lower third, but it is a noticeable little projection box in there,
right
in the corner.
Yeah, this one's really small, and plus it's up in the upper left hand corner as you're looking through it, and it's super tiny. I mean, if you just turn it a little bit, you don't even notice it if you're off center.
Nice.
All right.
Good job,
good job, Chad.
Thanks.
So this week we're actually going to be talking about two polymer frame pistols that just kind of were released here in the last couple of weeks, making their rounds on Facebook, social media, and those ever so reliable gun blogs. So we're going to take an unbiased, and actually we're probably a little biased just because we've still got a bad taste in our mouth from the R51. So if you haven't guessed, we're going to be talking about Remington's new polymer frame pistol that they're debuting.
Next.
So the RIP, rest in peace, 9 and 45. Actually, it's just RP. So I guess Remington pistol 9 and 45.
The
so
RPOS.
No love for the 40.
Or
RP,
Remington
RPOS.
51 Part 3.
Excuse me, fellas. I'm really excited about a polymer pistol. I mean, it's something that's never been seen before.
You know what I'm really excited about? Honestly, I'm going to be really excited when they also debut the Time Machine shortly after this, so they can go back 10 years in the past when this is going to be relevant, and everyone can be really excited for the new polymer pistol, because it is about 10 years too late.
Well, it better be a two-seater because Ruger can jump on with them.
Hey, make that a three-seater, and Smith & Wesson can, or no, Springfield Armory can jump on there too.
That's right.
You know what? No. Let's save everybody a bunch of
about
trouble, because then you can add in, a couple other manufacturers too. We'll just make it the back in time polymer pistol short bus.
Oh, it's the way back short bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's still going to have gull wings and a flux capacitor, though.
Let's just say certain companies aren't in the Army modular pistol program because they're saving up for a hot tub time machine so their firearms can be relevant again.
gonna go back.
So-
Come on, this is
in
going to
time.
be a great pistol, just like the Remington 51.
But see, this is the
Well-
thing. Even if it is a great pistol, which I have no idea, it's still, good Lord, a decade too late.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, polymer pistols are still selling because they obviously would not have bothered rolling this out if there wasn't a market for it. So it's just to us, we in the industry, and we're reviewing stuff every week. We see this thing, all of these different products so often. We either operate gun stores or we visit gun stores so often on a weekly basis that we're just inundated with the same old, and we can get kind of burnt out quickly.
Oh, at one point, did this become copyright infringement?
Oh, look, yeah, the Remington's relevant again. No, but I think you're right. I think you're right, though. There are a lot of fans of Big Green that will buy the Remington brand, no matter what it is. And if it's a striker-fired, high-capacity or higher capacity pistol, they will jump on it.
You know, I just want to say this about this Remington. It looks like they went and talked to Ruger and said, "Oh, you're not making the P89 anymore. Let's see if we can make it out of polymer," and put a Remington label on it.
Well, you have to understand, all the Remington fans, well, they have to buy this pistol because everything else they own is on recall.
Not the
This is on
1911.
firearm.
This looks like the ugliest combination of an FN and a Smith & Wesson Sigma.
Ooh,
And this is like really ugly.
yeah, it's not.
Like we're
very
talking
good looking
illegitimate
pistol.
child ugly.
It's kind of got a lot of aspects that you recognize from Walters, the M&P, the Sigma. It's kind of got all that kind of rolled into one,
Yeah.
and then it's got a big old R monogram
The good feet, that
in
one's-
the
Yeah.
in the texture.
Hold on.
Which,
I just opened my pistol case and my high point said he'd do her.
I did that. Yeah. So the good thing about the pistol, I mean, we should give it a fair shake and go over the specs before we get back to giving it a ribbing. Oh no, we didn't.
I thought I was being nice.
I thought it would be really nice.
Go ahead, guys. Let's
So,
go ahead and get it over. Go ahead.
MSRP probably about $499, under $500. It's still kind of approximate right now.
Well,
So
hold on. I spoke to Remington today. This is the MSRP they gave me. You're gonna love it. Brace yourself. $534.
That's like clock range.
Bruh. 500, not 500, not 550, not 530. $534.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's a hard price. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's pretty specific.
Might
Probably
be
not.
their map price, their minimum advertised price or something. But
Yeah, I mean, that's, dude.
Yeah, you rearrange the numbers and maybe that's what they're going to sell for. $354. Nope, still not worth that.
$345, $5.34.
Now
No,
we're talking.
I think it may be a good pistol, but because of the R51 and the stench that it left behind, no one wants to give anything from Remington that's quote unquote new a chance. And I mean, it could be okay.
Yeah,
unless
I
you're
think
a
Tony's
gun
right.
blogger and this is what you do for a living, is you
Kiss the butt
take
of every
Remington's.
pistol manufacturer that walks
yeah.
through your door.
Don't throw all of us.
Exactly.
We're kind of gun bloggers, aren't we?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't do this
I mean,
for a living.
if they invited me to come out and try it wherever they had a little demo, I probably would have been like to include it on that. But I'm not one of those Rob
Elite.
Pincus or big name people. Yeah, I'm low man, way low on the totem pole. But anyway, the nice thing about this pistol is the capacity is probably the one thing that stands out that everyone saw. Oh, well, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So 9mm, we're talking 18 plus 1 capacity. And then 45, we're talking 15 plus 1. And the only other pistol that I've seen, or I guess two, that had capacities in that range was the Service XD from Springfield. And I'm thinking the FN, wasn't that a 15 plus 1, 45, the FNX?
Yeah, wasn't
So
like the
it's-
XDMs? Weren't they 19 plus 1?
Yeah.
Well, that's for
So
9mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice feature. They are striker fired pistols, obviously. They've got a interchangeable backstrap, just like it's kind of, the bare minimum standard that if you have a polymer pistol in after 2015, 16, it's got to have interchangeable backstraps. And it's got some kind of larger grooves for serrations in the slide. They've got some weird, like, the sights, the rear sight, they call it the fighting surface. Basically, it's just got a ridge for one-handed slide operation if you're going to rack it off your pocket or your belt, or a ledge if you got shot in the arm or whatnot. That's not new, but they're trademarking it like they invented it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, but I have to give them props for that. At least they have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they have it. It's got a PVD finish on the slide and barrel, which seems to be another standard coming up now. The frame, they say it's got a smaller grip circumference to fit 95% of all shooters, and apparently they have not seen Tony Simon's hands.
Yeah.
But
More
we will
important than
see.
the grip radius is where the safety is placed, though, because he's got tiny thumbs.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's reversible.
I don't see a safety.
So yeah, it's got a
mag release.
it's got a reversible mag release on it. Standard Picatinny light rail. They call it a precision barrel. That's like probably because they can't legally call it a match barrel, so it's, I don't know, precision out of a pistol barrel. That's kind of a weird thing to say. It all depends on you, really. If they don't claim it, it's match.
Yeah, neither is match for a pistol.
Pretty much. So the Firearm blog has pretty much, if you Google right now Remington RP9, one of the first links that you're going to get is the Firearm blog review of it, because they, of course, got first dibs amongst some other gun bloggers. So they kind of put it through a little bit of a paces and talked about the features and some actual photos that aren't off of the photographer's desk there. So it's kind of nice. The official Remington photographer. It's nice to see this actually in the field being used. And there's no complaints as far as some of the problems the R51 had.
Well, they took it out and qualified with it, right?
Yeah, obviously. But it's kind of a relief to see there's nothing glaring, like the rear sight you can push out with your finger, or anything weird like that.
Yeah, that
or
was
a strong
sad.
wind.
I'm gonna say there. I'm trying to look at positives here. It has a good like beaver tails type system, so I don't, even if pretty fat hands, I don't think you'd have to worry about slide bite. The other thing is they didn't get on the finger groove bandwagon, so the front strap is pretty much straight, which is always a plus.
Yeah, they kept the undercut and the trigger guard as high as possible. I mean, it's like a lot of. Hopefully, there's a lot of good things here, because I mean, the 1911, the R1 they made was pretty good. Everybody liked it in all the iterations that it came in. So maybe they finally got their stuff together. One of the things here, because I started looking at the capacity, trying to think of different things about the capacity, and I realized Remington, or at least their group that runs them, purchased Paraordnance. So when I contacted Remington today, I asked them, were these Paraordnance magazines they were using? And they said no. They said that it's based on the Paraordnance magazines, but they redesigned them to be more dependable than the Paraordnance mags were. The really thing that caught my attention was the 45, because there aren't that many high capacity 45 ACP semi-automatic pistols out there. So I asked them, were these magazines interchangeable with Paraordnance mags, or could this pistol take Paraordnance mags? And they said no. So that's out. If you have a Paraordnance, or you can purchase some cheap Paraordnance mags, according to Remington, they won't work in this. But that may or may not be true if you cut maybe a hole in it where the magazine catch is. Who knows?
Yeah. So somebody mentioned the safety. I don't see the safety on this thing either. So it's a little bit like the Glock.
Yeah, no safety, but your controls as far as your slide stop and your all that stuff. That's my concern. Is Tony's tiny thumb can't operate any of those things.
But it
No.
does have an ambi slide stop also, if we didn't
Cool.
mention it.
Now, one of the things that really did kind of bother me, because it's one of the things that at this price point from a major manufacturer, you'd expect at least a plastic case. No, cardboard box with foam cutouts.
Hey,
Hmm.
they're
I'm
saving the
just
environment,
saying.
man.
Stop it.
Right. Instead of
I'm just saying,
recycling some plastic, they're cutting down trees for cardboard boxes.
Hey,
Yeah,
they're a
there you go.
renewable
Makes sense.
resource.
Yeah, so it comes with
Okay.
2 mags, padlocks, and the 3 bag straps. And of course, they have the 10-round compliant versions for sucky states.
Does it
that
come with
didn't have-
Does it come with a Pelican case when it gets recalled?
No. No, only the R51 comes with the Pelican case.
Oh,
And well, holsters. That's one of the things that everybody asks about when you come out with a new pistol. Galco, DeSantis, Crossbreed, and Safariland all going to have the holsters for these RP9s and RP45s. So
that's
they
good.
went with all the big companies to come out with their holsters, which is a good move on their part.
Yeah. So they're trying to compete a little bit for some of those contracts for service pistols. Would you call
Yeah, I
it the
think so.
modular handgun
Maybe,
competition?
maybe law enforcement too. Remains to be seen. I mean, it's got to have a full rollout before we see where this is going to go. The only 2 things that I look at this right off the bat and go, I'm curious to get it in hand. And it was kind of a learning curve from the Ruger American, is that beaver tail looks really wide. And I didn't care for the really wide beaver tail on the American, and it's kind of reminiscent of that. The other thing that, and I don't know if it's just me, visually, this looks like it's a really tall slide, which generally doesn't translate well to recoil management. Usually the stuff that rides lower in the frame, like your CZs, tend to do a little bit better with rapid fire than something this kind of tall. So, but depending on what kind of weight they put in their recoil spring and guide rod and all that stuff, that can shift all that back to where it belongs to. We'll see. You don't know until you shoot it at that point.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested as well. I mean, if this came out and that's just like Remington wants us to do, just pretend the R51 didn't happen, I think this would have been pretty well received. Was that SHOT Show 2015 or before that? So it coming out now, I mean, I guess the saying "it's better late than never" applies. They have not added it to their website yet, so it's really. I find it in bad taste that when you roll out a new product, I've got to go to third parties and bloggers to find out information on your own product. I'd like to go to your website and get information straight from the manufacturer. But I understand that if it's a flop, it's cheaper to not have to pay your web designer to scrub all that information again, like they did with the R51. It just kind of when it went into recall, it disappeared because they wanted to hide their shame.
Well, listen, if this is
And our new pistol, the Redacted.
if this pistol turns out to be a killer pistol, a great pistol, whatever, and a big seller, everybody eventually will forget the R51, just like people forgot the Colt American, All American.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes away if you just. Well, never mind. Colt didn't put out anything after that, but you know what I'm saying. It'll eventually go away.
Well, hell,
Not
even
a
the
great
Colt
example.
Double Eagle.
I think they put all their designers to sleep. They put all their designers down at Colt after they came out with the All American flop.
I think when Freedom Group bought Remington, I think they
Picked
let
up the old
everybody
design.
go. Yeah, they let all the designers go. They're like, "Oh, you guys want too much money? Here's your pink slip."
Yeah. Well, hopefully this works out. I mean, if it does, it's great. It's just another option that somebody will get with the MSRP, the weird MSRP where it is now. If it's in the mid 400s, that's a pretty good price point, especially for a new pistol. I have no idea what their warranty is, though. Again, after the R51, just send it back to us and don't ask any questions. Maybe their warranty. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going to say, well, this is to compete with Glock, then I would say that it might be a strong contender, being that the biggest complaint about Glocks has been, and until they get their act together, will always be that blocky grip, how it just feels like you're grabbing onto a piece of 2x4. The fact that this has a little bit more ergonomics like the other competitors on the market, and yet it still shares, safetyless or external safetyless and some other features that I like about other polymer pistols. It seems like they kind of cherry-picked good features from other competitors and rolled it into one of their own, which I actually kind of like. But until I actually get this in my hands, who's to say?
Yeah, I mean, right? Really, again, I say this almost every show. We're in the golden age of firearms at this point. I mean, almost every major manufacturer has a quality, or what we hope is a quality polymer pistol out, striker fired. And they have quality single action. They have, I mean, just good stuff is out there. And it only used to be, 3 really big manufacturers, Colt, Smith & Wesson, and really it was Colt and Smith & Wesson back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much it. And now look at where we are. I mean, just companies you never heard of 20 years ago are doing what they're doing. They're out there doing it now, and it's a good thing. Competition is a great thing, and I think is making the industry grow. But we're giving Remington a hard time because really, Remington in the gun industry really freaking crapped the bed big time with the R51. And the old school gun writers and a lot of the modern bloggers and even YouTubers showed what they really are about with the great reviews of the R51 before it ever came out.
I'm going to say one thing about cherry picking good features, right? Because I still look at this and it turns me off. Homer Simpson built a car cherry picking all the cool features, right? Does anybody remember that episode? It was a flop.
Mm-hmm.
It went nowhere.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's just what I see.
I mean, it could go
look
nowhere.
at this thing. I don't expect it to be around very long. If you're going to get one, get it for collector's value because it's going to be in the oddities section of the NRA museum.
They could join your Caracal.
Yeah.
They could join your Caracals. The guy got recalled. They were like, "Don't shoot them. Just put them in a box and send them back." And they recalled everything they had.
Well, that said, we're going to move on to the next polymer pistol, and for this one, I'm going to actually play a little soundbite to introduce it.
Get it, baby, get it.
To a place where sorry, got carried away. So
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
it's the Walter Creed. None of us know why they chose Creed for the name of it. Why they didn't call it the PPX
PPX Mod 2.
Mod
PPX
2.
Mod
But
2.
Grip zone. PPX.
maybe they're really
PPX
big
2.
fans of the 1990s. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So
We're trapped in a
it's,
bad Rocky repeat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We need James Brown, not Creed for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically a little bit more affordable. So they brought down the MSRP on it. So we're looking at about $399, and it's a 16 capacity. They are going to have a 10-round capacity as well. If you guys got to take a look at this pretty well. I know.
Yeah,
I think Tony
yeah.
Tony did some in-depth investigating, didn't you?
Yeah, I've always been looking at the PPX, but since I live in New Jersey, that 16-round capacity is a no-go for me, and it really irks me when the next capacity level for the pistol is 10. I mean, it's just not even worth it. I'll buy something else. So I've been interested in PPX for a while, and then when they said they came out with the Creed, I checked it out. And it's exactly the same pistol, except they've redesigned it, or as they said, a different iteration of the PPX. So yes, it uses PPX magazines. The only thing that it will not use a PPX holster, it will not use the PPQ holster. So they're going to have their own holster, and it's available through Alien Gear, also Dara holsters, who I don't know who they are, and Green Force Tactical. They're all coming out with holsters for this, and the MSRP is $399. So they'll probably put it in the mid 300s. I mean, I've seen, yeah, that's pretty much where I was going to be, about 300 or 350.
You know, that's a good price though, really. When
Yes,
you
it
think
is.
about
That's where the PPX
Great price.
cruises around at. The thing is, it's funny because Ryan just said you don't have a pistol come out without back straps on it since 2013. Well, they have no adjustable back straps. What you get is what you get. I asked about the threaded barrel version because Waltham seems to put out everything with a threaded barrel version. Not this, not yet. But they'll see. It only. Yeah, probably. It's probably coming. Everything else they make has one, from their 22s to their 9s to their 40s. 9mm only right now, though. So I was going through it with the guy, and I was like, well, what does it have? And, of course, it has, again, everything. Low profile, 3 dots, Tennifer coating, Picatinny rail, loaded chamber indicator, reversible mag release. The trigger is 6.5 pounds, though, which is kind of heavy.
Well, what I don't understand, I got a question here, and I don't think any of us will answer it. You know, if you read their little thing, it says the Creed features a pre-cocked double-action trigger system.
You think I was going to read that?
And a bob hammer.
That was my first question.
I'm like, what the heck? I mean, if it's pre-cocked, does that make it a single action? Okay, we know how I am on this show. Do you know how hard it was for me not to be me when I went, what the hell is a pre-cocked double action bob hammer? Marketing speak gobbledygook. I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, if it's pre-cocked, it makes it a single action.
Yeah.
Well, no, not necessarily. Because it could be a double action that's cocked.
It's a double action only. That's all it is. It's marketing.
Yeah.
I asked him. Yeah. I'm like, what is this?
But I couldn't resist. You know.
I'm like, does it have a reset? If the reset is nice as a PPQ? No.
Oh, can you double? Does it have double strike capability?
Didn't ask. Didn't know.
Yeah.
Didn't think about it.
I didn't think about it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Now. Yeah.
Maybe if it's DA on. It's DA only.
Well, but if it's okay, Tony, but if it's pre-cocked, it probably doesn't. Kind of like the Rugers.
I think pre-cocked is falling into what Colt used to call the aluminum, an AR-15 Colt aluminum. It's aluminum, and this is pre-cocked. It's double action only. That's what I'm really thinking. I just think it's marketing hype. One more quality that the PPX doesn't have, because I checked them out side by side, and that was the only thing the Creed had that the PPX did, a pre-cocked double-action trigger. And when I asked, it's just a double-action trigger. This is hammer-fire pistol. This is not striker-fire, so it's a hammer-fire pistol, and it's double-action only.
Which, if you think about that, a 6.5-pound trigger pull for a double-action only, that's a pretty good trigger pull for that.
Yeah, actually, after I said it, that's a pretty good trigger pull. Oh, that's better than my Toon Smith & Wesson 686.
Yeah, but that's a real gun.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things about the PPX they said was it looked like it was a high point. So I think somebody got butthurt over at Walther and got to work.
They still have the blocky slide on it and all that kind of stuff. So
that's because the less you have it on the machine, the cheaper you can manufacture it for.
Well, yeah, so, and the less recoil it has if you put this huge slide on it.
Unless it's blowback, and then that doesn't really help.
Which it's not. So
yeah. So I think this is a good price point for the pistol, and it is what it is. Like we said, a 6.5-pound trigger is pretty good on a double action only. And the thing is, it has a lifetime warranty for the life of the gun. So it gets transferred. So even if you pick up one used, just like you can find all the used Creed CDs, you can pick up a used Creed and you still have a lifetime warranty on it. So there you go.
Yeah, but the Creed CDs are like 50 cents at Walmart.
To give it time. I mean, the thing has MSRP of $3.99. How much do you think a used one's going to be?
Yeah.
$1.50 if you've got one signed by Scott Stapp.
Nice.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, this is going to be pretty popular around, like, you know, when the Christmas sales come, Black Friday. I mean, obviously, it might be a little late for this year.
There you go again.
But they're going to be, I could see, because I know, like, the PPS was like hotcakes because they marked it down for Black Friday, and it was hard to keep those in. So I can kind of see this going that way of being their budget pistol that becomes really popular because it seems people lose their minds for a handgun that costs less than $400.
Especially if it's a quality handgun.
Well,
Right.
especially
Yeah,
if
and
they
I
can pronounce, if they've heard of the manufacturer, they could pronounce it. Then it's even better.
Walther?
Canic.
Walther.
What's a Canic? No, I want the Walther.
Yep. I mean, because it's
Yeah.
in the same price range. The thing is, just like everything, Walter, or pretty much any modern manufacturer, brand new magazines still going to be in the like $45, $45 range. I mean, that's just it. That's how much they are, period. I think I've gotten spoiled with aftermarket Glock mags that can have for $15 from Magpul, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that pretty much covers the product spotlight for this week. We don't really have any listener feedback. Well, we do, but I'm not going to read it on the air. Just stuff about someone wanted to talk about reaching Matt, who reviewed the Trijicon RMR. So I already linked them in the emails and whatnot. So nothing to report there. So now we're going to give the
hold on a
soapbox
second.
to Tony. So he,
One of the things I wanted to talk about was this actually, the Creed actually comes with a hard case. Unlike
not a cardboard box.
not a cardboard box, so it actually comes with a hard case with the chamber flag and the magnet, the manual padlock, like all guns have to come with now. But I wanted to put that out there because really it is just a little point with me. It just bothers me. You spend a few $100s and they can't even give you a plastic Tupperware box to put it in. Freaking cardboard, dude.
Hey, Scar's the same way. FN sells that $3,000 Scar with a cheap cardboard box.
Yeah.
Now can we continue?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Because it is your turn. There you go.
Well, quit interrupting
He wants to
me,
talk
man.
about cardboard boxes.
Fine, Ryan. We'll do all the things you want to do.
Yeah, all right. Somebody shoots a deer, all of a sudden he's a freaking boss. Anyway,
Headshot.
yeah, sure, he says the headshot. He hit it with a car. Second is for everyone diversity shoot. The newest one, 2017, is February 2nd, 6 p.m. Gun for Hire Range, Woodland Park, New Jersey. So we're going to have some new stuff, some cool stuff coming out. I've been reaching out since I've been sick for over a month. I've been contacting different manufacturers for help. I wanted to get in before they got crazy with the SHOT Show preparation. So we're going to have some stuff coming from some different manufacturers. And 2017 should be an exciting year for the second is for everyone. What I need from you guys out there, listeners, is donations before Black Friday. So if you go to diversityshoot.com or the secondisforeveryone.com, whichever one you want to type in, donate so I can make the purchases on Black Friday for swag and gifts to give away to people that come to the events. This is pretty much a big thing here in Jersey because 2017, we're going to have the gubernatorial election here. And that's really going to be a big deal because we're set up for a world of hurt in New Jersey. So 2017, I'm going to put a lot of effort in. So far, I've got a secondary location in South Jersey we'll be able to hold these at. And I also have interest in both Pennsylvania and Maryland this year. So I'm really going to try to get out to different locations. And if it works out right, it'll be every month this year. So I do need all the help I can actually financially get to get this going. So I really appreciate it. Again, diversityshoot.com, hit the donate button and help a brother out.
On that same
Thank you
front,
very much.
if you want to make a purchase from Black Bag Resources and donate it directly to the Diversity Shoot, use coupon code Simon Says Train. You'll get free shipping on that order because you're not going to have it shipped anywhere. I will personally deliver it to Tony's event and it'll go straight to him instead of coming to you. So Simon Says Train in the coupon code if you want to send something from BBR over to the Diversity Shoot.
Thanks a lot, man. I really
Nice.
appreciate that.
Helping the cause, baby.
Yep. Everybody's
Cool.
got to do their part to make this work, man. Seriously. So if you're just sitting at home and you're liking something or hashtagging, look, appreciate it, spreading the word, but you're not really helping that much. You want to get on it, donate to your local event. If you don't want to donate to me because you know what it is and you can check out what I'm doing. Heck, you can go on, what is it? The Second is for Everyone Facebook page and actually watch Sean host the last event live. And I thought it was awesome. And it only took like half an hour, but it's half an hour worth watching no matter where you're from because it seemed to me to be a lot of fun. and a lot of real people that are real friends and real Second Amendment advocates came out and helped out, like Mike Wolf, who actually canceled a class to come out and help me because I couldn't be there because I was ill. Who else helped out? Oh yeah, John Willett drove like 2.5 hours one way. He hosts the Bear Arms podcast. And Christian from NRA-ILA actually drove from Syracuse, New York to Jersey to actually help out because, again, I couldn't be there. And then my friend Alan Wong came out, and he wasn't even planning on coming out, grabbed his Thompson submachine gun, well, semi-automatic rifle, and just blasted through a ton of 45 ammo, again, only because I couldn't be there and I asked him to.
There were a
So
lot of people who helped out. You know, Dan Hughes, Brian Kolb, Rhiannon, Chandini Mohan. There were just a ton of people who came out for the last one.
Because
in
I
your
asked
absence,
for help.
Yeah, and because they believe in what you're doing too. It's not just like, oh, you asked for help and they did it as a favor for you. It's because they believe in the efforts that you're putting forth out there. So a lot of just a lot of people really stepped up and made sure it was a good event. We did have a couple of new shooters, a couple of first-time shooters. Some kids came out. Every single person that shows up for these events volunteers in some way, helps out in some way. It's good stuff.
Yes, and I was really ill. So it took me 2 weeks or more to actually reach out and contact all these people personally and thank them. I was in a bad way, and I really do appreciate everyone that helped out. And I thank you guys for understanding that I wasn't able to be on the show during that time period. So thanks a lot to all you guys.
Yeah, no sweat. So on that note, we also want to make sure we plug the Fight Tyranny fundraiser that's going on for the Gun Owners Action League in Massachusetts. Wow, I'm butchering that this week. Massachusetts. Man, TJ nailed it last week, and that's what's shaking me this week. So I'm just gonna call it Mass. So 4 of their fundraising campaign. Rounds 1, 2, and 3 were great success. They sold 1,247 shirts and raised $12,064 for fighting this illegal anti-AR-15 legislation that the Attorney General dictated on back in July. So
Chad, did you get your shirt? Because I got my shirt. I want to know if Chad got his shirt.
No, I haven't got my shirt yet.
Step it up.
So they're gonna keep round 4 going for 3 weeks. So right now, they 2 days are left in that campaign. They've got a goal of 50 for round 4, and they've sold 28 so far. And all funds go directly to fund the Gun Owners Action League. So here's my challenge to you guys. If you aren't going to buy this shirt, you need to take that $15 and you need to get it over to Tony Simon so he can give stuff away, because he gets some crazy deals. I mean, he is the man when it comes to gun Black Friday shopping, for all these gun accessories and gear and things like that. I thought I was a gear whore, but Tony is the man when it comes to Black Friday, and he's doing it for all of you guys that participate in his segments for everyone. So that's my challenge: either $15 to this fundraiser, or, and more preferably, I should say, send $15 to Tony.
Thanks a lot.
So which one do you want?
Buy a t-shirt, Chad.
Both of them? Both of them?
Yes.
I got to send Tony $15.
And you need to make a purchase
No,
from BBR
you have to send
and
him
use
$20.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, send whatever you can afford. Really, it does help. I like busting Chad's chops, but
Yeah.
I know she's gonna send me a gold coin with teeth marks in it because that's how old he is. He's gonna bite it to make sure it's real gold.
Hell, I'm old. I don't have teeth. What the hell are you talking about?
dentures count.
Oh, okay.
They're made of wood.
Fire up the super poly grip and
Help a brother out.
Yep. So wrapping up, send questions or comments to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. And be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. So that does it for this week. We will see you on next week's episode. Like I said, we'll probably talk about the Springfield Armory Saint along with some other AR-15 type products. So they all tie it together. Stay tuned for that. It should be equally as hilarious and chaotic as this episode was. And have a good week.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
I love it.
Who's Felicia?
Who's